just found out that it looks like we're expecting baby number 5. It still needs to be confirmed. I am way late on my period, which I know my periods have been off lately, but this is the longest I've gone. Taken a couple pregnancy tests, one confirmed negative a few days ago, and that was 2 days after. And then the one I took this morning, I thought it was negative, but apparently I didn't wait long enough to check, so I checked about a minute later, or my husband actually saw the line first, and it was very faint, but it definitely looked positive. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to wait another day or two to test again, but at this point we're both pretty positive that we are in fact pregnant again. I haven't really had any signs or symptoms of my period, but I have had some subtle signs of pregnancy. I thought for sure if we were not going to be pregnant again anytime soon. I mean, we knew we wanted more, but we wanted to wait. But it looks like we're here now, and we're overwhelmed, but we are excited. Each child is a blessing from God. But yeah, overall, so far I'm feeling okay. I mean, I'm a little bit nauseous. Certain things are bothering me that wouldn't normally bothering me. I'm not really wanting as much coffee at the moment. But other than that, I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm feeling, pretty normal so far. I'm maybe 4 weeks along, so we are due in the spring. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm probably more like 3.5 weeks. It's hard because my cycle lately has been off by a few days, and I think that's kind of how it happened. We thought we were in the safe zone. We weren't, not taking into account that my cycle's different than I'm used to. But yeah, it's all good news. It's always good news when there's another baby. Always a little bit overwhelming, but always a blessing, always exciting, and I can't wait to go on this journey again. I'm excited to be here again. We both are. Our family's going to be excited. We haven't shared the news yet. We'll probably wait a few more days to start telling people. But yeah, Lord obviously has plans that we didn't know about, and He's allowing us to have another baby against what we sort of thought for our lives at this point, and the Lord knows all things, so we just gotta trust Him in the process with what He has plans for our life. It's been a couple of days since I took that test. I did confirm it 2 days later. It was brighter pink, very positive, and now that the initial shock has worn off, we've been able to process it for a few days. The more I think about the last couple of weeks, the more my symptoms line up with pregnancy. One of the very early symptoms is me being very moody. For some unknown reason, I thought that was my period, but it wasn't. I've also had food aversions to any kind of meat, both red and white meat. I've been craving things like California rolls, which in the past I always craved it before I took a positive pregnancy test. I've been craving things like, I don't know, like the rice noodles. I've also had aversions to coffee, and I thought, for me, I didn't get any coffee aversions until my 4th pregnancy, and so for me, I noticed that the coffee kind of tasted just kind of off, and just kind of I didn't want it, which is very upsetting to me because I love coffee. But I noticed, I thought maybe the sweetness in the creamer was just off, but then it was just kind of coffee in general, unless it was fresh, right out of the pot, hot. I didn't have to reheat it in the microwave, none of that. Then I'd be okay with coffee, but just something about it and just didn't sit right with me for the last 2 weeks or so. At this point, it looks like I am due mid-March, about 5 weeks pregnant. However, when I was doing some of the tracking, it didn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense. Lord must be doing something. Clearly, He wanted us to have another baby because, like, we are tracking, like, we're naturally family planning, but we were tracking properly. We were tracking ovulation. None of it makes sense or lines up with anything really. So, we're taking it as the Lord has just blessed my womb. I mean, this is baby number 5, and the Lord has clearly blessed my womb. And for us, like, though we're in shock and even a little bit overwhelmed with everything, for one reason or another, like, the only explanation is Lord wants us to have another baby. So here we are. We knew we wanted to have more kids. We already had that discussion. We were thinking to wait at least a couple of years just to give my body a break. But again, the man has plans, but the Lord has his will. So yeah, also the pregnancy brain, I'm sitting here, like, as I'm thinking through my words, I'm having to, like, pause the camera and just, like, figure out what I'm going to say next because I know what I'm going to say. But, like, the pregnancy brain is just awful. And it's not even, like, big things. It's like, hey, I put the wrong, like, the Gatorade bottle cap on the water bottle, or I forgot to put the mixer in my bread machine, or I forgot to put something back in the refrigerator, or I'm giving the wrong bottle to the wrong kid, or, you know, just, it's like little things, but it's little things that are constant. I can't form full sentences in my brain. Like, I mean, and that for me has been huge. And I especially noticed that, like, right around the time, maybe a day before I took my pregnancy test, or even like a day or two after, but especially like this week, and just I've been in such a brain fog. So I don't, it's, these symptoms are just weird, and they're hitting pretty strong pretty fast. At the moment, I'm trying to prepare myself for the morning sickness. My guess is at this point I have 1 week or so until the morning sickness, like, fully kicks in, and I can already feel, like, all the aversions, the symptoms. I mean, those I've been feeling for the last couple of weeks. But I'm at this point picking up morning sickness drops from Earthly Mama. I'm trying to get geared up on, like, ginger ale, saltines, like, all of the stuff, because I do get pretty bad morning sickness. And I'm real bad from about weeks 6 to 10, but it tapers off between, like, weeks 10 to 13. By the time I'm in my second trimester, I'm completely fine. My last pregnancy was the worst morning sickness out of all my pregnancies. Like, there was no timing it. Like, in the past, I was able to time the morning sickness, get to bed at a certain time, I was fine. And then my last one was just all day. Like, I was tired, I was exhausted, I was miserable for about a month. And after that month, like, after I hit my second trimester, I was fine. So I'm just kind of trying to gear up for the worst of it, trying to figure out what to do to kind of help. I mean, and in my experience, you can only do so much for morning sickness. That doesn't, you know, any kind of medications you take, like, for me, it just caused some side effects that I didn't need. So I just kind of fought through it. But there are some new products I am wanting to try. Some, like, from, like, Earthly Mama, Sprig's Life, like, all of those more natural, holistic methods versus getting something that the doctor prescribed me. So hopefully that'll work this time. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but at the same time, I will be thankful when it does hit full force, because the stronger the symptoms, the stronger the pregnancy. I mean, I know that's not the case for everyone. I have plenty of friends and even family members who did not go through the whole morning sickness thing, and I'm low-key jealous of them, but at the same time, I know that that's just confirmation that everything's okay. So I'm really just kind of hoping to manage it better this time around. Hopefully with some more knowledge. I've gained a lot of knowledge in, like, natural, holistic style stuff in the last year, so hopefully I can implement more of that. Alright, and for the sake of it, let's go ahead and do a 5-link bump shot. There's really not a bump there. A lot of this is just postpartum belly from my last baby. I can kind of feel where the uterus is, but not to the point to where it feels like a bump, just where I can kind of feel it when I touch, like, this general area. But yeah, here we go.